Hey, what's up everyone, the Eradicadex here, bringing to you finally the review on Fantasy Strike. And I know I said that I would do this sooner than later, and I do apologize to that. The reasons why being, I just wanted to make sure I had everything that I had together, because I didn't want to make the same mistake again and do it as the Rise of Furia update review that I did, where I accidentally made an oopsie on what I did, and I just wanted to make sure that that never happened again, when I promised that I would never do it ever again. So I just wanted to make sure on that. And Fantasy Strike, again, it is a good game, but it also has its flawlesses too. And it is kind of weird how I'm doing now a review, since the last review I ever did was the Paladins of today, on the Paladins 1.8 console update that was coming out. And always, so yep, without further ado, I always near enough give a game 1 to 2 weeks, even a review, to get my full pledged opinion on, even though it's been about a few months in that. And I will basically be going through the good shits and the bad shits that Fantasy Strike has to offer. And without all further ado, let us begin. So, Fantasy Strike is a 2D free-to-play fighting game. It is cross-platformed on the PC, Switch, and PS4. Xbox, you're out of luck. I don't know if they have done that for you yet, but heck, here's hoping. It has its own unique playstyle, and it doesn't have the whole light mid and heavy punches and kicks like Street Fighter and MKX has. For example, whenever you are playing the game now, it will always nearly enough bring a, instead of you losing health, you nearly enough lose 1 bar of damage. And also it has its intervorm version of what has been called a Yomi counter. For example, which you will see soon, a Yomi counter will have it to where if you want to nearly enough grab, if you think someone is grabbing you, and that the only way to kind of counter that is by not moving your control at all, because if you move it even the slightest bit, the count you will get grabbed. But if you didn't, you will do this here on the screen, which is also known as a Yomi counter. And that's near enough the kind of cool benefits on how Fantasy Strike works. Now let's move on to near enough the characters here. Starting off first with the zoners. Now the zoners, they like to nearly enough keep their space, and they do so by nearly enough shooting a shit ton of projectiles at you, kind of basically like what Street Fighter does. As you will basically see on the screen right here, they just will just shoot projectiles at you and probably get close if they're the type of player to nearly enough do so. Rushdown champions are a bit differenter. They have the lowest amount of health, but they make up for it for their fast speed and nearly enough jibbery jabbery moves, which nearly enough keeps the opponent high on their toes, wondering what the hell nearly enough the Rushdown character is going to do next. Which I myself, who has had like a lot of hard times dealing with Suzuki and Jaina. No, wait, not Jaina. What's her name again? Valerie, that's her name. Valerie. The grapplers are kind of different for having the most health in the game, but they have a decrease in that by nearly enough having slow movement speed. And the thing that's different about these grapplers is whenever they grab you, or Yomi counter you, they will do 2 points of damage instead of doing 1 damage like everyone else does. And lo and behold, I know how it feels with these grapplers, trust me. And lastly, we have the wildcard champions, which are basically kind of a mix-up of all 3 of them, because we have Lum here with shooting out projectiles, Degree bringing out Persephone to assist, Quince, who near enough sends out a fucking shit ton of clones and mirrors, and Omaru, who is a fucking overpowered piece of crap and needs to be nerfed ASAP. Moving on to the good things about the game, they have this thing that you can do once a day called Survival Challenge, where basically it will just give you random sorts of enemies as you go through the fight, and during your time it will just keep on spewing out more enemies with more health, more knowledge, and more goes on. It keeps on going until though you get KO'd or the timer runs out and you have the least amount of health, and it will basically at the end show you what you got in and how far you got to after that, as you can see on the screen. They have also this video clip thing where you can view the character that you want to get good at, and the developers of the game will teach you how to kind of get good in a way, or teach you more or less. And would you believe me if I just said that's everything that's good about the game? That's good. I mean, isn't there anything else? I mean, like, yeah, there's single player, there's training, and you can play online with other people. That it. I mean, well, there's more, but let's just say you got it enough. Give the developers some money. Nah, you're lying. Yep, these developers are doing another pay-to-get scheme. Yes, because if you're a free member, you may notice that these things are locked off, and they can only be obtained by buying the core pass. And the only way to get the core pass is to give the developers £15, and I will go through what you will get with your £15. Starting off first, we have Boss Rush. Basically, if I would have to compare Boss Rush is basically like Total Mayhem and like an Overwatch custom game. The game here that everyone will have different kind of abilities, move lists, so on and so on. And the game will just keep on continuing if you beat all 8 mental bosses, or if you get KO'd and something like that. Up next we have the arcade mode. Arcade mode will just play out a little cutscene at the start, except if you are Olimar and Quince, because since then they're just like the new ones and they're just going through and some shit. Hopefully we may get those here and there, but here's hoping. And as you will see here, you will just verse 5 random bosses, 5 random fighters, sorry, and after that you will verse the last one, which was Quince. At the time it was Midori, and then after that it will just play out a little ending cutscene, and that'll be it. And finally we're down to survival, which I did cover before on my YouTube channel, where you have to verse and defeat said amount of fighters to 20 to 35 to 50 and then 10 casual. And it does get more harder each and every time that you continue. I have beaten level 20 and I have done it on level 35. I've only managed to make it to 22 for the time being. And as it says, the game will continue once you beat all the fighters, or nearly enough, you get KO'd. And if you do win it, you get a crown that alarmize you that you have beaten it, and you can brag it to all your friends too. And now lastly, moving on to now being the star, which I will say, as my good friend Instant Sparrow has once told me, the fact of the matter is, it is all whale packs. The cheapest one in there for 1,000 odd gems is £16.59, and for the highest price of £65.99 you can obtain yourself £13.500, which I will say in the random item stores you can, and if you buy the cheapest version, I mean, sorry, you can only buy at least up to 1 and 2 things, like, and lo and behold, like, there are some cool and amazing things that you can probably get in the store. I mean, for example, do you want to buy a bluer version of Quince? Or do you need enough one to buy near enough a paler, whiter version of Valerie? For about 550 gems? No! No, you fucking won't want to buy some of those gems. for just wanting these sort of fucking skins. And I know for a fact that there's a Fantasy Plus account, and in my opinion, I'm just gonna go ahead and let that go, because you don't need that to enjoy the game. That's for people that are, you know, hardcore fans of it. I will say there are two things I do find a bit buggy about it. Well, messed up about it. The fact is, if you buy the Fantasy Plus account, you get a mastery skin once you get that fighter to level 20, because there's a fight level and a player level. If you get the fighter to level 20, you get the mastery skin. And the fact being that you can watch other people. So say if there's a player you want to just spectate and get some data on, or if there's your favorite YouTuber or Twitch streamer who, you know, streams or plays this, you can watch them via the Fantasy Plus count thing. Again, I do find that a bit fucked up, but in all honesty, it's really not worth it, because if it's a streamer or YouTuber, just watch one of their streams or watch one of their YouTube videos. And if it's someone that else you want to watch, ask them, just try and add them as a friend and say, hey, can I just watch you and something like that. And if they say no, then yeah, you kind of fresh out a look. But I will say though about the mastery skins too, you gotta pay a membership for that. And like once your membership's up, do you lose that mastery skin? Because if you do, that's a bit fucked up, if you ask me. And I know for a fact the game itself has some stuff as it is, which I will play on the screen, where the game will sometimes bug out or crash, and sometimes be overpowered shit. But in all honesty, do I see hope in this game? I do. If the company of this game listens to kind of the people like me and literally gets rid of the core pass, they can keep the fucking shitty ass Fantasy Plus account. They can keep their shitey skins, even though some of them are a bit shitey. But if they get rid of this, people will enjoy the game. Because for free members, they can only enjoy playing single player mode, or training, or something that they can only do once a fucking day. But if you're a paid member, you can fucking enjoy everything. And that is nearly enough it for my review on Fantasy Strike. Is it a good game? Yes. Do I see hope for it in the future? Barely. I barely see hope. And is it alright? Yeah, it's alright. If they fix the shit, fix the problems, we might see a good game. But before I do end off, I want to nearly enough thank two people. I want to thank Murasaki for helping me get the video clips I need, and I also would want to thank Daniel Hockfin. I do apologize if I mispronounced your name wrong, my G. Thank you again for providing me the screenshots back there that I've put in the video. I do owe you one. And also, I will be uploading Final Fantasy X, FYI Final Fantasy X soon. It's just that I wanted to just do my review. Shit's just been happening, and that is about it. So, if you guys enjoy the review, leave a like. If you didn't, then don't. I don't give a shit. And as always, peace. DX is out.